Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's start over.
I'm going to do the whole thing again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Thunder and Lightning Gaming Podcast. I'm Thunder.
And I'm Lightning.
And
I almost said, and I'm Chris.
I'm Chris. You can say that. That's your name. And today we've got a lot to talk about because, as I was just saying when we were muted by mistake, it's been like 3 full weeks since we've recorded a podcast, and I took a work trip to DTLA. So Chris is going to start because that's how we do this podcast. So, Chris, how was your week? And when I say week, I do mean like 3.5
Yeah,
weeks.
man, oh man. There's been a lot that's happened. First of all, I finished this year's work. Well, not this year's. I finished school, and I get a little summer break, which is nice before September.
You explained on a previous podcast you like took more school, right? Like,
well, I had to.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah, no, there was or I could have left it, or I could have had 4 courses I need to take next summer.
Right. So the semester you just finished up was like a shortened, like summer long semester. Yeah. Cool.
Which was cool. But like the least cool thing that I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
So before I get into the really exciting things, Lions in Lavender. I'm gonna make a Lions in Lavender announcement because the rest of the band knows. So now I'm gonna talk about it. John, the drummer for that band for 8 years.
I didn't even realize.
My old band, Set the Nation.
My old band.
Oh, well, yeah. And the drummer for Lions in Lavender, since we've been around, is gonna be moving out of state. And I won't say too much about that because that's his business. Oh.
Nothing.
Okay.
I was about to say too much about that.
Oh, okay. We'll have him come on and tell us if he wants. But, so we're going to be... But before that happens, that's going to be happening in the fall.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the studio at the end of this month recording as much shit as we can. So there should be Lions in Lavender music being released, hopefully by the end of the year.
I hear what you're saying, and you need a new drummer, and I'm honored that you'd ask
Oh,
me.
no, God. We do have...
Don't sound so fucking terrified. Jesus.
We do have 3 people who are looking for the position right now.
I'm looking at my texts right now.
Oh,
and I didn't,
no.
I don't... Maybe it got lost in the mail.
Yeah, that must have been it. Sorry, you missed the...
Want to resend it right now
No,
live
you missed
on stream?
the issue is you missed the due date, and we've already got the slots figured out for who's gonna try.
The text corrupted, and then you planned the due date while I was in DTLA just to fuck me. I see what's happening.
Ironically, of the 3 people that want the job, 2 of their names is John.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say Anthony, which would have been just so surreal.
Which means, because John was not the original drummer of Set the Nation. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that. The original drummer was like kind of a...
He wasn't,
Yeah.
His name was John.
That I did know.
And then John's name is John.
Remains to be John.
And there's a 2 out of 3 chance that the next drummer is going to be named John. Which means I will have been playing with a John for maybe 15 years
now. Edging towards 20.
Which is just bananas to me. So, with that announcement out of the way, also we're playing tonight at Bit Bar, so go to that in a couple hours. With that announcement out of the way, me and Pauline went to 2 concerts last week.
Oh, yes. I feel like... Yeah, because you talk. Which concerts were they?
So we went to Ed Sheeran Friday night.
Oh, interesting.
Which was for Pauline.
Yeah.
That's who she wanted to go see. And that was... I'm not going to speak too much on it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Well, no.
I'm
curious.
Okay.
I'm curious because I've obviously never seen Ed Sheeran live. I'm curious your opinion on Ed Sheeran as a musician.
So I knew next to nothing, and I now can say that concretely, unless he played deep cuts that night. I knew next to nothing. I recognized like 2 songs, one of which was one Pauline played for me in the car.
It's going to be hard to, like, even you not interested in him, it's hard to admit, like, he's everywhere.
Oh,
So it'd be hard to, like, not hear a single Ed
yeah,
Sheeran
yeah.
song.
I'm surprised at how little I recognize.
Yeah, me too.
So I supposedly most of his shows he plays by himself with a loop pedal and a synth.
Oh, okay.
Which is neat. It's cool. It's a nice little niche. It shows talent. This time he did have a band with him. They only played with him for like 3-4 songs max.
Okay.
Which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't need him, but okay. He's talented guy.
Yeah.
When you limit yourself like that, it got boring for me very quickly. If I go to a show, whether I know the music or not, I expect to be entertained and I expect to maintain my level of entertained throughout the show.
Right, you're talking about the difference between listening to a song and seeing someone perform it live.
Yeah, and here's the issue. He had a rotating stage because he was right in the middle of Gillette. Only the outer rim rotated. When he was in the middle, we were just looking at his ass for most of the show.
So what rotated?
Just the outer rim, like a.
But I mean, what was on it? Like, what was the point of it rotating?
So he could see the whole. When he wasn't up there, he could walk down and
okay.
Intermingle with everybody. Which this was neat. I will say this: he had a loop pedal in the center, and he had 4 on the revolving stage. So if he goes down there and he's doing his thing, and he's gotta, because the way this worked was he records a part, presses it, now it's playing it, and he had there was 5 channels where he could.
Right.
So if a part needs to cut out in the chorus and he's down there fucking around, he gets to the closest one, which they're every 15, 20 feet away from him. He clicks on that. I guess Logan was telling me he saw him play out, or he heard, or there was a video of him playing out, and he deleted one of the channels mid-song by accident, so he was kind of fucked.
Yeah, I was going to say, even at that level, you're going to fuck up with that
absolutely.
shit sometimes.
And here's the deal. Pauline says yay with a creepy smiley face. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I'm being as honest as I can be right now.
That we're talking about Ed Sheeran.
Maybe. But it got old. You can only do so many acoustic tunes by yourself that I'll say it all. He did on the guitar, and then he was like, all right, now we got that track. And I'm like, yeah, it's not a percussion instrument. You're only going to get that same sound. And you played fucking 25 songs tonight.
Right, right.
And all of them had that same sound.
It's definitely an odd choice.
Just the concerts in general. Oh, yeah, that we're talking about that, yeah.
It's definitely an odd choice. I'm not saying it's a bad one.
No, he's a talented guy.
It's somewhat right. That's the thing. If you can own it, like I didn't realize that. If that's Ed Sheeran's thing, and he's like, this is gonna be my thing forever, then sure, whatever. But bands have things,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
It just for me here's the thing. I have a feeling, and we all do this with all the bands that we like. There's a level of rose-tinted glasses where you're enjoying it because you enjoy this.
Right.
If I'm going to see somebody where I know nothing about them, I expect to show up, and if they're going to be somebody I'm into, I'm going to be ecstatic that I saw what they're doing, and I enjoyed it the whole time. Or at least most of it. This just progressively, if this is...
Yeah.
I was just...
peaked early, and then you sort of lost interest.
Yeah, because it was just the same... You got I think what I'm trying to say is he's got to mix it up. You can't expect every person to show up to your shows to have been like Thundercat. Yes, we saw Thundercat, who was somebody I never heard of before. We saw him open for the Chili Peppers.
Okay.
And he was amazing.
And he was doing the same shit.
No. He's a bassist.
Okay.
He's got kind of like a funky R&B band.
Cool.
It was bass, keys, drums.
Bass, like...
No.
Oh, okay.
And opening for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea. Everybody loves Flea. He's a crazy, real. The reason I'm not saying he's the best bassist in the world is because fucking Thundercat exists.
Damn.
And this dude is shredding like a lead guitarist on bass. the whole time, and people are just sitting there chatting. I'm like standing up with my jaw on the floor, and I'm looking around. I'm like, fuck you guys. This might be the best band that plays tonight, and we're gonna see the Chili Peppers in a minute.
Right.
This guy kicks ass. I'm so glad you mentioned that. If I'm gonna go see somebody for the first time, you don't have to be Thundercat.
Right.
That dude's nuts. He's also huge into. He actually had a girl from an anime painted on his bass.
Oh, cool.
You'd like Thundercat a lot,
Okay,
not just
yeah.
his music, but like him. He's a cool dude.
Does he have an internet presence? Like, can I go?
Oh
look?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Not only that, but he actually has a episode of Hot Ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so he's like.
yeah, he's famous.
I
He was
see.
actually in The Mandalorian apparently, which
Oh,
because I was looking up his IMDb as we were at the show. I was looking him up, and I'm like, IMDb, what?
He's
Mandalorian?
probably, well, because Flea is in the. Oh no, Flea was in Obi-Wan, right?
Yes, right. Flea was in Obi-Wan.
So, there's probably something there, right?
Yeah, he's in that world. He's in that realm
Yeah.
of like level of fame. He knows those people. But that was a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. They didn't bother telling us who they were. Oh yeah, and then there was Saint Vincent. Yeah, who didn't even tell us the name of their band.
Oh.
Well,
Well, they probably saw the audience response that Thundercat was getting.
yeah, actually, Flea came out because I didn't care for Saint Vincent. They were something else. But
Okay.
Flea came out and he was like, unfortunately, I didn't get to catch Saint Vincent play tonight, but I saw Thundercat. I always see Thundercat.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, yeah, you do.
That's
I do
awesome.
too now.
Cool. I'm excited to look this dude up.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
The live show was nuts. He's actually coming back in October at a much smaller club. Like maybe Meet Him Small Enough Club,
Okay.
which I would be very down
We're
for.
talking about Thundercat?
Yeah.
I love that this is a story about a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, and you're like, no. The opening act, though.
No,
is
that's
so cool.
But that's what I'm saying is, you can. When I go to see somebody I've never seen before, keep me interested.
Right.
And just because you're Ed Sheeran, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's just fucking boring. And it's okay. It's okay to like stuff like that. I was done.
Mm.
I was done. So, anyways, that was Friday night. Saturday night, we went to see Weezer perform at the Palladium. Actually, to perform in the parking lot of the Palladium
Okay.
in Worcester. So, here's the deal with that. We said, okay, we're doing Ed Sheeran, and then we're coming home. We're going to Weezer, and then we're getting a hotel room and staying over because holy shit, that's a lot. So we get up, we get home from Ed Sheeran, we wake up obnoxiously early the next morning, and we're like, all right, let's go eat, and then because Worcester is like 2 hours away, when there's traffic.
Yeah.
So, we did, and we get to the hotel 2 hours early, and we were like, can we check in? They were like, yeah, it's fine. We go up to the room, then we leave. We turn the corner, and there's the stage in the parking lot. There's like a gate and stuff, but we walk over to it, and there's just an open door, and we're 2 hours early for our check-in. The show's not even starting for like 6 hours.
Right.
We just walk in, and we're in front of the stage,
Oh.
and I'm like, there's people doing shit, like building the stage and checking the sound and whatnot. But then a woman from the bar that's like connected walks over. Wasn't going to say anything to us. I said something to her, and I was like, is this it? Did we do it? Are we in? She's like, no, you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
And I was like, okay, we weren't trying anything. I just walked in. That's just open over there. I'm pretty sure we passed by their trailer, Weezer's trailer.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, no, you got to wait over there. Like around the block. So we walk around the block. We get to clearly where people are going to do the tickets and walk in.
Yeah.
And we hang out there. And the woman's like, oh, yeah, you can just hang out right here. People should be lining up soon. I was like, cool, we're the first ones. And then a dude walks over from around the corner. And he comes up to us and he was like, yeah, you're not supposed to wait here. I was like, do you work here? No, but you're not supposed to wait here. And I was like, okay. And then he started walking away. And I was like, he was there earlier. I did notice that he was there. So I was like, all right, maybe he knows something we don't. I turn the corner, and there's general admission, and there's, like, not a shit ton of people. There's, like, 10 people in front of the general admission line, so I was like, all right, still cool.
Yeah.
So we're waiting.
So what happened? Why did lady who works for Weezer tell you to...
She works for the Palladium,
Right,
which
sorry,
doesn't make
yeah,
a
but-
difference. She should still know.
Yeah, why did she tell you, and then some random cat was like...
I don't know. Well, he said that another dude told him to line up down the block.
Okay.
I don't know why she told us that, and I don't know why. I don't know. But so I looked at Pauline. I was like, "There's like 10. There's a VIP line, but there's like 10 people in front of us for general admission. That's not bad. Do you
Right.
want to? We've got a lot of practice going to cons, waiting in line. So I
Yeah.
was like, do you want to just wait? And she was like, yeah. What else are we gonna do? We go to the hotel and do nothing till the concert, and then be 150th in line.
Right. Go to the hotel, watch Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't get the reference, but that's okay.
Agent Cody... You don't know what Agent Cody Banks
No, I
is?
know what that
okay.
is.
Oh, no, there's no reference
Oh,
here.
okay. That's
It's
just
a
your
pre-reference.
that was your movie recommendation for the hotel.
It's what I did when I was at the hotel room. Yeah.
I see.
It's a-
I see.
it's
That's a
fr-
foreshadow.
Yeah, foreshadow.
A
Right, not
foreshadow.
a pre-reference, otherwise known as foreshadowing.
So we're waiting in line. We're 10th in the general admission line. It's starting to build up. It actually gets to the point where it wraps around the building that we're at. But the VIPs got like maybe 15, 20 people in it.
Okay.
I was like, nobody get fun VIP tickets, but whatever. It ended up enough people in the VIP line where they would have taken up the first couple of rows at this concert.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe the first row.
Okay.
So they get let in, and then a half hour later, we get let in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do our ticket thing. We're going down. They're waiting at the gate still, the VIPs.
Oh.
So I stop, buy a T-shirt, because the line to get in is actually wrapping around the T-shirt place, and we're in front of it. So I was like, I'll get a T-shirt. Thanks.
Nice.
And then the dude at the T-shirt thing was like, there's no line, by the way. And I didn't move. But then people in the general admissions just start crowding the gate, and I was like, well, fuck, Pauline. If I don't want to be in last because we were the goody two-shoes who stayed behind.
Right.
So we, everybody's piling in front of the gate now.
So the VIP line was a mistake? They could have just...
No, it wasn't a mistake. Those people paid extra money to be let in a half hour early. It was a clusterfuck. The
Okay.
ticket said the doors open at 6. They let us in at 5, and they didn't let... And the show didn't start till 7. So nothing happened at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So they open the gate, and it's a fucking free-for-all.
Mm.
So me and Pauline I'm like, well, fuck, let's go. And we're in the second row.
Nice.
Front center stage.
Hell yeah.
And we're happy. We're like, this is awesome. This is the closest we'll ever be for a concert.
Yeah.
And the people in front of us, we're chatting with them. They got VIP, and I mentioned to him, I was like, I'm glad you guys got here. I felt really bad you got screwed. It kind of became a free-for-all, and he was like, no, it's cool. We're up front. We're happy. We see the first band. They were cool. They were like a punk band. Second
What were
band.
they? Oh, sorry.
I don't Pauline, throw... no, they just got screwed, is what Pauline said. I don't know what that's in reference to, but...
when I asked, was the VIP line a mistake?
Yes. Pauline, what was the name of the first band? The second band was called Future Island.
Okay.
And they've been around since the 90s, I guess. This is a bassist, a pianist, a drummer, and a singer. The bassist, pianist, and drummer all look like the same dude at different times in his life. It's wild.
Love that.
It's
I
wild.
love that shit.
The singer looks like John's dad, but a bit skinnier. Different body type.
Okay.
But the
Sure.
face is just 100% John's dad.
Yeah.
And this dude was a maniac. They were doing synthy 880 sounding songs, but his vocals were like,
Oh, so like a prog rock band?
No. No, I think they were very just very like 80s synthy type of stuff, but his he only pronounced like one syllable in each word. In the melody was just all over the place.
Okay.
And he was running around the stage beating himself and like looked like he was about to cry. I really thought something was wrong. He was like, and then he just burst into. He was just bizarre. And somebody said actually while we
was called
Joyce Manor.
Okay.
Yeah, they were cool. Somebody mentioned, I thought this was so fucking mean. We could hear them sound checking while we were waiting in line.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, you know that they're going to go all out, the second band. And I heard them be like, oh, yeah. And they're like, yeah, because nobody's ever going to hear them after this. And I was like, wow, that's really mean. These guys were not my thing, and I don't know why they were opening for Weezer. Just wild.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's like, why do you think your audience is going to like this opening band? That happens with stand-up comedians as well. Way back in the day, this was for my brother because he was a big fan. We saw Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes.
And he, if you know anything about him, is like pretty family friendly. He kind of, his thing is like one swear per show. And both opening acts were like talking about sex and drugs and swearing a bunch. I was like, this is not, and it was his friends, but it was just like, this is like not what I'm here for.
Yeah. It was definitely that vibe, and I don't know. I don't like talking. It kind of gave me Ed Sheeran vibes, where I was like, all these songs sound the same, and I'm getting fucking bored. So in between that band and Weezer, the dude who's in front of us, his daughter, the lead singer was a maniac. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His daughter kind of like crouched down. Everybody was kind of doing it, but she stayed there for a while. And he's like talking to her and stuff. And eventually I was like, hey, is she okay? And he was like, yeah, she's just kind of feeling weird. And then Weezer comes out. People were crowd surfing and shit. It was bananas. It was like what you would expect. And about halfway through, this dude's like, hey, we're going to bounce. We're going to try and do it in a way, though, where you guys can jump into where we're standing.
Oh, shit.
And so I was like, okay. He was like, after this song, I'm going to go this way. She's going to go that way. Y'all jump in where we are. And I was like, sure.
A coordinated strike.
Yeah, it was.
On the first row.
And so the song ends, and he turns around, and he points to remind me. And so we squeeze right in. We're center stage, front row at Weezer now.
That's so cool.
It gets even cooler.
Uh-oh. They brought Pauline on stage she drummed for Weezer.
This is what Weezer posted about the show. Tell me if you notice anything.
That's so cool. Shit like that is so... This is just an old prospector.
So, here is... Oh, God. Oh.
Closer. Yeah.
Okay, here is
That's as good as... Oh.
It got better for half a second. Oh, no. Come on. Well, I'll zoom in. There is...
Yeah, Oh, that's great.
There's me and Pauline, front row at Weezer,
That's
posted
so cool.
by Weezer.
Posted on their, like, Insta or whatever?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love shit like that. OMG, that would have been awful. I can keep time, but I'm an amateur. Oh, when I said she jumped on stage and played drums.
So that is the... I've done it. Whenever I'm like... oh, man, that's the best seat I ever... I can't get better.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. I did it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that exact spot.
Right. No, that's great. Yeah, you got the best spot in the lot.
Yeah. And we weren't... Hey, that was cute. Because we were in a parking lot. By the way, people were moshing, and people were crowd surfing and got dropped. We're in a pavement parking lot this whole time.
Weezer concert? That's so weird to me.
Moshing at Weezer doesn't seem that weird to me. Moshing on pavement is fucked up.
That's usually where it happens.
No, it doesn't. It happens in a grass field or in a concert hall.
Yeah, but it might as well happen on pavement.
No, that's the worst. Please.
No, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just like, not that weird to me. Mosh. I feel like moshers are gonna mosh no matter where.
I really guess. I didn't think the parking lot was gonna.
I didn't think the Weezer
place.
concert. I feel like
no people were. This was like if you see a concert in the movies, like a wild, crazy concert.
Yeah.
That was this.
That's
and I've been
cool,
to a
though.
lot of concerts. maybe it's the Palladium because it's not like you go to Gillette or you go to the Garden. They moshed for Joyce Manor, more of a punk. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You go to like TD Garden in Gillette and shit like that. They're not gonna let you do any of that shit.
Right.
Maybe it's just because it was the Palladium, but it was wild and it was cool, and I had a lot of fun. And I have videos. I'm not gonna show them.
I'm just imagining that one Ed Sheeran song where he's talking about how he's trying to be faithful to his girlfriend and people are fucking moshing.
Man.
That's the mental image that I have right now.
That was my week, and tonight we're playing a show.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm glad it was for Weezer because that's one of your faves.
Yeah, and I've never seen them before. That was my first time.
Well, yeah, you're a new Weezer fan, right?
Well, the last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Which is still, I mean, as far as people who like Weezer, that's still pretty new. But yeah. Yeah, how was your week?
My week was just great. It was fine, okay? It was fine. I was at Anime Boston.
Yeah?
I was at Expo. I was at Anime Expo, which is the biggest anime convention in the world, ? I know it's in the States, but it might be the world as well. It's at the LA Convention Center. I'm the newest Weezer fan ever. They don't get any newer than Monsoon from Thunder and Lightning Gaming.
Probably not that much newer.
Yeah, so I was at Anime Expo. I was working it, hanging out in DTLA, which of course stands for Down to Lick Ass. No, it stands for Downtown Los Angeles. And here's the thing about DTLA. It's ugly and dirty. The food is phenomenal. Everywhere I ate, I was like, yes.
In the convention hall?
No, in
downtown LA.
In the
Gotcha.
streets surrounding my hotel.
Gotcha.
I have more about food.
I'm
I'm
excited.
gonna get into food right now.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Let's talk about
Anime
food.
Expo. So there's chicken.
Yeah.
And there's the places that serve chicken, and I want to talk about them because there's 4 of them, and there's 4 of them now. There was 2 called KFC and Popeyes, and now there's 4, and I'm going to rank them.
Oh, all right.
Are you ready for my ranking?
Yeah.
Number 1, Number 4, worst one, KFC. Try better. You suck. Everything about you is a worse version of Popeyes. Number 3, Wingstop. I got a chicken sandwich from Wingstop. The traditional Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Chicken, mayo, pickle, but I get no pickle in the buttered bun. They had options. I wanted Cajun. They gave me Nashville hot. Not the
very
same.
different.
So I really didn't enjoy that. I had to douse it in ranch to even stomach it. The fries were really good. I think I don't know. It had I think it might have just been sugar. I think the perverts at Wingstop put sugar on my fries, but they were really good. Number 2 is gonna have to be Popeyes. An old favorite. Popeyes has great chicken, but they live and die by their sauces.
Yep.
And I've always said this: the Popeyes chicken is fine, and I will eat it plain if I have to. But it's the sauces that really do it for me.
And there are some not great sauces.
There's also kind of only 2 or 3 options.
Yeah.
And one of them is clearly superior, and that is the Black and Ranch. And I'll be honest about that. Number 1 is a new restaurant that I've never been to.
New entry.
They don't have.
Flip the Bird didn't even make the list.
Oh, Flip the Bird is different. Flip the Bird is like Qdoba status for me, and all these are like McDonald's status. Flip the Bird is a different conversation. Flip the Bird is might as well be gourmet compared to Popeyes. No, it's called Jollibee. Have you ever heard of Jollibee?
Yes. Oh, Jollibee's Filipino.
It advertises itself as Filipino. As far as I can tell, it's the same menu as Popeye, but they also have burgers, which is fine.
Well, the company started in the Philippines.
Okay, that explains it. Because I was looking at the menu. I was like, I'm not really seeing.
No, it's not Filipino food. The company Jollibee is from the Philippines.
I see. That makes a lot more sense. Because I was looking at this menu. I was like, I don't really see the Filipino influence.
I'm jealous though. I've been wanting to. They say it's awesome.
Dude, it was so good. And the reason I went so hard on Popeye's sauce is because I want to talk about Jollibee and how you don't need sauce.
Oh,
because the
shit.
chicken at Jollibee is really good. I went to Jollibee twice.
Do they put a glaze or anything on it, or is it just chicken?
No, it was just a traditional Popeye's chicken sandwich that I got. I got the chicken with the pickles and the mayo and the butter, and I got no pickles, and it was fucking phenomenal. And I got the mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes were not the Cajun mashed potatoes that you'll get at Popeyes. They were like more like gravy based, like KFC, but they were actually really good. And it was so good that I no sauce, by the way, at this restaurant, just straight sandwich.
Damn.
But I did when I was done with
Pauline's all excited.
when I was done with my mashed potatoes, I did like dip the get the gravy on the sandwich.
Yeah.
It was just so good. I had to eat there a second time. I was like, they don't have these where I am.
No.
I need to, and I can't wait to go back to Jollibee. I hope it's not a full year. I hope I don't have to wait until AX 2024 to. Was that outside?
Yeah, I think it was the football stadium. I don't know though.
Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, it was fucking delicious, and it won on the first bite. I was like, oh, this is way better than Popeyes. I was I was so surprised how quickly I was like, oh yeah, this fucking owns.
Wow.
And here's me saying this, having tried one menu item. I don't even know if the burgers are any good. They probably are.
Well, here's the thing, right? You and I started on the street that you live off of.
Yes.
There's a McDonald's, there's a Wendy's, and there's a Burger King, and that's
And
the way it was.
Yes, for 20 years, that's what it was.
Our entire lives, that's how it was. You and I become friends, and we're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Taco Bell here? And hot damn, there was a Taco Bell. And then we were like, that's
What's
really
missing?
cool. But Popeyes, though, am I right?
Gotta catch them all.
Holy shit, if there wasn't a Popeyes the
Yeah.
next year. Yeah. So if we pray to the fast food gods.
now there's a McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Popeyes, 2 Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
On this street. And
Now,
no more. It used to be a Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, but I think they don't do that.
You know what we
anymore.
got to do? We got to go in your backyard. We
Yeah.
got to draw a pentagram.
Oh God!
We get the number one item from all of these.
Yes,
we put them
I was
in the
gonna
middle.
say we get the most iconic. We get
Yeah,
the Whopper.
yeah.
We get a Big Mac.
Yeah. And then we
get
set
a
them on fire
Baconator.
and wearing cloaks. And on top of the fire, we put the Jollibee logo. And we just hope it works. Hi, Toga.
Hello. Yes.
If a Jollibee ever opened up here, I'd be going there every day.
Pauline, have you had Jollibee? 'Cause it's fucking great.
We need a Grimace shake. Oh, yeah. Oh, I have a food story for fucking you.
Okay, it's about the Grimace shake.
Yeah.
I'm fed up with this clown at this point.
So, we were,
Grimace was at AX, by the way.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess.
We were on our way. This was still June. We were on our way to Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
And we stopped at McDonald's, and I said, hey, can I get the Grimace meal? This was the month that it was going on, right? This dude goes, we don't serve that anymore. And I was like, do you not, or will you
Will
you
you
not?
not? So you still haven't tried it?
No, I never got the opportunity.
Yeah, I know it's a big meme and we're all having fun, but how long is this fucker going to celebrate his birthday?
Apparently, that's it. They don't. At least not that McDonald's. They don't give a shit about
Pauline
him anymore.
had Jollibee in the Philippines. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Their food is delicious, and I can't wait to go back. Okay, so now let's talk about Anime Expo.
Yes.
So a few things about Anime Expo, and perhaps I'm repeating myself from last year, perhaps not. First of all, this happened last year too. It's hotter here than it is in LA right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Wow.
cool. It's like there's a nice breeze in LA. It's so fucking humid here. It sucks. I'm not saying I prefer LA. I just every time I come back, I'm like, it's hotter here. But that's the hot state. I don't know.
Right.
So Anime Expo, I don't know whose fault this is. I don't know if it's Anime Expo's fault. I don't know if it's LACC's fault. But they overbook Anime Expo. To a multiple fire hazard per square
Jeez.
yard.
That's gotta
levels
suck
of-
for meeting people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you get a photo op or something.
Because they put the autographs in Artist Alley. They put Artist Alley in the parking lot below the convention hall, which is better than what they did last year, which was like
Outside, right?
it wasn't outside, but it was like you had to go outside to get there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it wasn't too. The problem with Artist Alley last year was it was like packed with people and it was really hot. This year, Artist Alley was definitely the hottest room, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this is too much. Last year, my coworker Mitch said, okay, I'm gonna go to Artist Alley because they were like looking for a specific thing. They were like, they probably have it in Artist Alley. She was gone for 2.5 hours.
Jeez.
And she was like, I couldn't get like I've been trying to get back here for like a good hour and 15.
Wow.
So here's the thing with this convention. The fucking psychopaths that run this convention are hellbent on this convention being on the 4th of July. So in order to accommodate that, instead of doing a Thursday to Sunday convention, they did a Saturday to Tuesday convention, and Tuesday was the 4th of July.
Why would you intentionally put your convention in the middle of a holiday?
I don't know. Anime Boston does it too. Anime Boston's always on Easter.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
get it.
that's
Why
right.
would you do that? Why would
That's
you
just
do
a
that?
pain in the ass.
That's a great question, Chris. Why the fuck would you do that? I don't get it. But what I'm getting at is Saturday and Sunday, way too many fucking people. Like probably like OSHA, like legally speaking, like probably 50 plus fire hazards per room, right? Monday and Tuesday, because normal people have to go back to work, like half as many people.
I bet.
Way more manageable. A normal amount of people for a con. I don't know why they oversell tickets. I don't know who's like clearly something like I know how these things work. Anime Expo goes to the LA Con Center and there's like, how many tickets can we sell? And the LA Con Center gives them a number. So I guess it's their fault because their number's too high or something. I don't know. There's just too many. There's too many people there. It's as simple as that.
If you do it during a holiday, make it one no one cares about, like Labor Day. I see. If something was happening during Labor Day, I wouldn't even say there was a holiday that weekend.
Right,
I'd just
yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
somebody's like,
We
"What are you
hear
doing
it.
Labor Day?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's Labor Day. Well, I'm going to the con. That's what I'm doing."
We here at Emerald City Comic Con always put our convention on Arbor Day. It's like, oh great, I'll miss looking at a tree or whatever
Yeah, right.
Arbor Day is about.
You know, you talking about how overfilled this convention hall was makes me think about Rhode Island Comic Con and how the one good thing, I have two good things about Rhode Island Comic Con, but one of the good things I have to say about it is when I went to go do autographs, I pretty much got whoever I wanted because the lines were a third of what they would be at Fan Expo.
well, there was just so many. Everyone doing autographs is so scattered between
Right.
who they wanted to. Yeah.
And not only that, but there's got to be a third of the people who went to this con that they're, except the very like when it came to the Karate Kid guys, they fucked us.
Right.
But when I went to the B room, if
Yeah.
you will,
Which, like, Rhode Island,
yeah,
Danny Trejo
fuck
was
off.
in the B room.
Yeah.
Like, can we not?
yeah, no, exactly. Which gives me hope for like I might meet John
DiMaggio.
DiMaggio.
Voice of Bender and Jake the Dog.
Yeah, I might meet him. Okay, throw him in the B room, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He's the reason I'm going. But like, let me stand behind three dudes in line to meet
Right,
him. I would
right.
love that.
Yeah. No line for the guy in the Wookiee from the Boba Fett
No,
show.
I walked right up to him essentially, which was cool.
Me too.
But oh yeah, you met him too.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to get at is I think I've just been doing. I've been Goku in the hyperbolic chamber,
Yeah.
where I've just been working out at like the biggest Comic-Con on this coast,
Right.
where I've just been like flexing my muscle skills, which are nothing because everybody has to do it here. Where I go to a second tier con and I'm just like, I'm ready.
Right.
Whatever line I'll do it. Whatever line you got, I'm fucking there, and I'll wait as long as I need to.
Now,
And I won't even think about it.
remember how many people were at Rhode Island Comic Con and how much of a clusterfuck it was? Now imagine, like, no joke, like 3 times as many people.
crazy.
That's what we're dealing with. That's the level of crowd density, the level of sardines in a sardine box we're dealing with at Anime Expo, you know?
That's not, and honestly, Anime Boston is probably the second biggest con I've ever been to. Fan Expo, the biggest. And that's a ton of people. And you're saying it's bigger than that. You're saying this is the biggest con, well, biggest anime con in the U.S. at least. That's wild to me.
Yeah, Anime Expo is the biggest anime con in the U.S. Let me see if I can actually.
We got a that sounds claustrophobic. In chat.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Let me just see if when I Google Anime Expo attendance, and oh yeah, this is perfect.
I'd be thankful to be in your position where you're behind a desk and nobody else is allowed behind that desk.
Yeah. Okay. This is a perfect picture. This is apparently Anime Expo 2018, so they've been doing this for the whole time, I guess. But yeah, look at this shit. This is basically what I was dealing with. Now imagine that. Now imagine that crowd.
Show the
camera. That crowd moving and walking like into the hall. It's essentially what I was working with. This is 2018, but yeah, it's just.
Please tell me AX was well ventilated.
So it really was in the expo hall. It was extremely well ventilated. Couldn't tell day 1 and day 2 because there was too many people. Day 3 and day 4, it was very comfortable. I actually, to check people out, put on a jacket a few times because I was like, ooh, it got the AC on, which is what they should do. So here's why. That's not even the main reason I didn't enjoy this trip. Let me explain something about humans, about being a human and having emotions. You know how have you ever been in that mood where you're like, I'm not in a bad mood right now, but if one fucking thing goes wrong, I'm going to be in the worst mood I've ever been in?
Oh, that's me all the time.
But you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been in the best headspace lately because, if you don't know, my cat died. And I've been dealing with that emotionally. So I'm on a plane. I watched the D&D movie on the plane. It's neither here nor there. It's a very good film. Third time watching it.
Nice.
And plane fake pump oxygen into the cabin to and all that. And I'm so tired. I wake up. I get to sleep.
Is this going there or coming back?
This is going there.
Oh, okay.
To sleep basically a whole day once I get there, which was nice. I show up to, and I just want to preface this. I'm not about to badmouth my coworkers. I just don't want people to think that's what I'm doing. My coworkers are great, and I love them, and this is not a story about them. This is a story about other stuff. But like, my mood is like at an all-time like meh. I'm just like, might as well do this. I'm not as excited as I usually am. So it's day 1 of setup, which is a 2-day process, part of a 6-day process of the whole thing. And I'm doing my shit. So let me explain something about our booth. And I don't really need to explain this to you because you've actually seen our booth. And you've actually built our booth. Yeah, so our booth has these poles. And the way...
oh, no. Not
what
the
these
poles.
What these poles do is you essentially put them at like the corners, and then you build walls. And you attach the walls to the poles. I'm not going to talk about the walls. But
we've all played Minecraft.
Have you?
No.
Okay. I was going to say. So the poles are there as wall supports, but they're also there for light support. So we have these lights that we attach to the poles, and the easiest way to do this is to set up all the poles and then set up the walls, and then the poles can adjust. You've seen these. Mm-hmm. We put them up one so that they're not like we have more like surface area to put the lights. And then that's still a little too high, so we get out the ladder that we bring from our office, and we get on the ladder, and we set up a light, and we go down, and we move it, and we go back up, we set a light, and then repeat, like a fuck ton of times. And I've sort of become the lights guy. It was my boss's job, and I watched him do it twice. I was like, I could do that. And now that my boss can't do cons for his own reasons that I won't get into, I've been like the lights guy. It's like, oh, Anthony's here. He's going to set up the lights because he knows how, and he's good at it. So I'm setting up the lights. It's not easy, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of up and down the fucking ladder. And some guy that I've never met before, who did not introduce himself to me, basically just came over and started reprimanding me about how I wasn't supposed to be on a ladder, saying things like, you're taking jobs away from union workers, saying things like, people pay $2,000 for union workers to be up on the ladder so you don't have to because this is a health violation and all this stuff. And let me just say, before I complain more about this gentleman, all he had to do was say, like, hi, I'm floor manager Bob.
So
And
he worked
also,
there.
Yeah, but he didn't introduce himself. So as far as I'm concerned, he's just some fucking guy.
Right. No, absolutely.
All he had to do was introduce himself. Hi, I'm floor manager Mike, and you can't do this. I already have the tiniest little bit of respect for you because you, like, are basically like, here's why I'm telling you this. Instead, he comes up to me, he's like, you can't be on a ladder. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, you can't be on the ladder. I was like, this is my ladder. And he was like, yeah, I know, but and then he says all the stuff about the union and taking jobs away from people. And I was like,
those people
like,
don't work at your booth.
Yeah,
though.
I was basically like, okay, but I brought this ladder from home. And then he just kept repeating himself. This is what pisses me off about people like this. They just keep repeating themselves, and it's really annoying. So it got to the point where I was like, do you want my supervisor's number? Like, do you want my CEO's number? Because I'm not I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm on this ladder because I was told this is my job. They told me, Anthony, go up on the ladder and do the lights, and that's what I'm doing.
Did you tell him that?
I did. Everything I'm saying to you, I said to him. Maybe I didn't say I don't give a shit, but I was just like, do you want my boss's number? Like, you can talk to him because I was told to go up on this ladder, so that's what I'm going to do. And he was like, oh, you can't be on the ladder. And then, like, he was like, oh, I was trying to be nice, but you're not cooperating or whatever. So, and then he said,
Were you alone?
no, I had everyone was there.
So they all heard this interaction.
Everyone heard this interaction.
Okay.
Well, Sean was literally right there because he was holding the ladder for me when I went up it, you know? So he said this to me. He said, if I see you up on the ladder again, we're going to have a problem. And I was like, I didn't say this part out loud, but I was like, are you threatening me? Like, what do you mean we're going to have a problem? Are you going to beat the shit out of me? Are you going to sue Sanchi? What do you mean we're going to have you're going to force me to hand over $2,000 so someone else can go up the ladder and do the lights wrong? So I have to
on your personal booth, right? Like you were decorating your own booth.
Oh yeah, I was decorating my booth with my ladder.
Yeah, and they've got guys just waiting for that job.
They've got guys that I'm apparently supposed to go over and be like, "Hi, I need someone to go on a ladder for me so they can do the lights incorrectly that I know how to put up and they don't."
You should be able to decorate your own booth.
And this
Christ's
guy,
sake.
this is when I got really angry at this fucking random nobody who still hasn't introduced himself to me. Like up until this podcast, I don't know who this person was. Just someone who started yelling at me. He said this 3 times, this exact phrase. He said, you can shake your head all you want. That doesn't change that you're not supposed to be on the ladder. I promise you, you're my best friend. I promise you, I did not shake my head at this person. Maybe I looked over at Sean once to be like,
yeah.
Do you see what's happening? I did not shake my head at him once. So I literally, the 3rd time he said that, I literally started yelling at him. I was like, stop telling me to stop shaking my head. I haven't shaken my head at you once. And then he fucked off. He was like, if I see you on the ladder again, we're going to have a problem. And then he walked away.
Were you still putting the lights up?
Yeah. So I had one more light to put up. And he was like, is this your last light? And I was like, yeah, you can clearly see it's my last light. And he was like, okay, you can put this is early in the conversation. Like, you can put the last light up, but after that, if I see you on the ladder again, we're going to have a problem. And then he was like, what about breakdown? And I was like, I don't need the ladder for breakdown, which is not a lie. We do the ladder. We can undo it without the ladder, and we usually do.
So this guy, you should have made a formal complaint to somebody. This fucking guy, you've never had this issue before.
No, and I asked him. He was like, I was like, but this is my ladder. And he was like, yeah, you can't at conventions. You can't do this. I was like, all cons in the history of cons or just this con center? And then he started listing cities. He was like, Anaheim, this. Like, that fucking mattered to me. So apparently this is a widespread thing. And we looked in the manual and it said something along the lines of like, what it didn't say was, because it said like, I'm trying to remember. It said like, people, booth workers may not attach things to their, like it basically said don't get on the ladder, but what it didn't say is, and therefore must hire some fuck for $2,000 to do it for you.
Right.
So, Yeah, he apparently this is a thing. You're a union worker thing. You're not. This is a health violation or whatever.
I get it. If you fall and then I get that part. I get they don't want you on ladders. If that's the case, though, your supervisor should tell you that, not this jackass.
Right.
And if he's got an issue, once you said you can talk to my supervisor, that should have ended it.
He did not engage with that part of the conversation. There was no. He was not like, yeah, sure, give me his number.
You don't own the company.
Right,
You're just doing what
do
you were
want
told.
My supervisor, do you want the number of the person who told me to go on this ladder? And he said no, comma, and then just started repeating himself about how I'm not supposed to be on the ladder.
Wow.
And here's the other thing: like, if we're not supposed to use ladders, everyone should know that, right?
Yep, absolutely. Like that should be number one.
And it sounds like everyone who works for this convention hall does. What the fuck did you think I was going to do with the ladder when you saw me bring the ladder in with all my boxes and shit?
Right.
Because the ladder was not in a box. We were not hiding the fact that we brought a ladder. Which makes me automatically think that you let the ladder slide just so I would go on it and then you could reprimand me. And then the next day, during setup day 2, we were like, well, fuck this guy. If we can't stand on the ladders, we still have work to do in these goddamn lights. We're going to stand on the chairs. So, like, 5 minutes into trying to do this stuff by standing on the chairs, a different dude who also didn't introduce himself but was way nicer about it, he was like, and this made a lot more sense, he was like, you guys can't be on the chairs because what if you break our chair? What if you fall off our chair? All this stuff. This makes sense. These are their
Did you
chairs.
immediately respond with, well, let us get out the ladder then, and your chairs will be perfectly fine?
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. Because we're on the chairs. Dude who was very cool about it. He still didn't introduce himself, but he was way cooler about it. And his point made sense. We shouldn't be standing on the Anime Expo chairs, right?
Well, you were threatened the day before.
That's the thing. So I went to this. So this guy, before I even got a chance to bring that up, he was like, yeah, you can't be on the chairs. It's a health violation. I'm not going to get you in trouble for it. But his words, not mine. He was like, but there's a Nazi supervisor or whatever who will get. And then at this point I just walked away. I was like, I'm done engaging with these lunatics. I'm done engaging with these clowns. And then Abel came over and was like, used their infinite positivity that they have to be like, yeah, we encountered him yesterday and this and that. And you're exactly right. It's like, well, the only reason I'm standing on the chairs is because you took my ladder away from me, essentially. Right. So
did anybody else have lights on the top of their thing?
Yeah.
Like, how did they do it?
I assume that they either paid some dude $2,000 to do it.
Was it actually $2,000?
That's what he said. I didn't look up. Wow. Like I said, there was no policy for me to look up.
What if you were a mom and pop deal? Like, what if you and I had we scraped together $400 to get a booth in Artist Alley at Anime X, and we're so excited. We don't have $2,000 to spend for somebody to help set up our booth.
No. And that's the thing.
Wow.
That's the thing. These lights are like, we're the only people who have these lights. And I know that because they suck. I'll say it. Yeah. Our lights suck. They're really tough to set up. I'm not going to say, do you know how long it's going to take for me to be like, hello, I would like to hire some dude for $2,000. Oh, you have to freight your own ladder over to our booth even though we have one? Okay. All right. Hey, now that you're here, let me show you everything there is to know about this light. Here's how you untwist it. Here's how you retwist it.
Yeah,
Here's
what happens if they break your shit?
What happens if they break my fucking light? Because that's the thing, right? I work for a company. I signed a thing. If I fall off the ladder and get hurt, that's on Sanshi, not Anime Expo, not the LA Convention Center. So if it'd be different if like Anime Expo was like, here, use this ladder, and then I fell off of it. That's different. But this is a ladder that was provided to me by my company, and I'm getting on it because they told me to. And I know the safety risks.
So this dude's only issue was we have union guys to do this one specific job?
Yeah, this guy, as much game he talked, he doesn't care about the
So
safety.
They weren't liable if you fall, because that issue I can kind of see. Get the fuck off the ladder because it's our fault if you get hurt. But even then, if that's the case, tell everybody don't bring ladders. We're not getting in trouble for it.
Right, but that's why I'm saying like it was our ladder. It was
No,
not,
I
didn't say
right.
I didn't say LA Con Center let me use a ladder, and they were like, okay, kid, here you go.
No, you keep putting. I keep trying to make. So this dude clearly part of the union pissed you're on a ladder because he's got a union guy who wants to get way overpaid for a half hour's work putting
Right,
lights
that's
up.
this guy's goal. He doesn't. He as much as he talked about it, he doesn't care about the safety risks. He wants the union guys who are apparently just standing there twiddling their thumbs.
You could have knocked him out with that too. Just been like, well, Sanchi's liable if I fall, so I don't know why you give a shit.
Yeah, I desperately what I wanted to do, and I didn't because I'm an adult. But I wanted to during breakdown set the ladder up.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of the booth, but not step
yeah,
on
yeah,
it
yeah. Why
and
not?
wait for him to say something, and then I could just be like, "You motherfucker! You said if I go on the ladder again, we'd have a problem. Do you see any of us on the ladder?"
You're better than I. Because why not, right? It's not bothering anybody if you set up a ladder. I
Right.
probably would have set up the ladder.
It's my ladder. I can do whatever I want
No,
with
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
And I can do whatever I want with it, excluding get on it. And
Apparently.
excluding use it for its intended purpose.
Oh, I would have eaten lunch on the ladder. I would. Oh, yeah.
Put your food on the ladder, but you use
Yeah,
it as a table.
Yeah, why not?
And all he had to do, and you know, I started this story talking about the mood I was in. Another adult yelled at me for a thing I was supposed to do. My mood is ruined. I literally like wasn't in an okay mood until Monday night. I was just like,
yeah, I remember when I was
just like,
texting you.
I was just like, it really like, thanks to that guy, for the first time I was like, this is work and I just want it to be over. Like usually I
Yeah.
have a little bit of fun, and I did end up having some fun. But I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, and also like, it's always something. And this guy, as far as I can tell, somebody from a different booth came over to us and was like, oh yeah, that dude yelled at us. But like, I saw a bunch of people, like, there was right next to us, and I'm not saying like, fuck these guys, they were doing their job too. They're in the same position I'm in. The booth next to us was selling anime figures, and they had a huge shelving display of anime figures. They had a ladder, not a big, huge real ladder like I did, but like a 4-step ladder
Yeah.
that they would open up, get on to get a thing down for someone. And it's like, that's
Yeah,
okay.
where do you cut
That's
it?
okay. So they're like, they have to use this ladder. Are you gonna hire a union worker $2,000, I guess, an hour to just stand there and be like, oh, you want me to get the titty figure? I'll get it. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Here it is. Boop, boop, boop. Oops, I dropped it. I'm not liable because I'm a union fuck.
I got nothing against unions, but that seems that something smells weird to me in that situation. Like I don't know any union that's about guys getting on ladders at conventions. What union is it? Did you talk to your higher ups at all about this incident?
Not yet. I think my employees mentioned it. And I didn't work my customer service job yesterday, so I didn't see that conversation because I don't have Slack. Slack is like a work Discord.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have Slack on my phone. So I'm gonna look tomorrow. I'm gonna look on Monday.
Yeah.
But there was conversation about that. My boss is going to be at PAX West,
Oh wow.
which is
the big boss?
the big boss, because it's right down the street from his job. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm going to be at that also. If he tells me to go on the ladder, I'm going to have to be like,
It's the same convention hall?
No.
No, okay.
This PAX West is in Seattle.
Yeah.
But if he tells me to get on the ladder, I'm going to be like, sorry, but like, could you like quadruple make sure that I'm allowed to? Because I really don't want to be reprimanded by another like adult again.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no need for it. The guy. The point. My whole thing was like, the guy was rude because he could have told me this information better.
Yeah, sure.
And because he was rude, I was instantly in a sour mood. So obviously, I'm gonna be rude back to him, especially because this whole conversation we're having is taking time away from me setting up my booth, which is what I want to be doing right now. And also, he didn't introduce himself to me. All he had to be was like, "Hey, it's me, floor runner Dave," and I'd be like, "Oh, an authority figure in something. What's he
Right.
got to say? Oh, he's telling me I can't go on the ladder? Well, that sucks. Let's talk about it. But instead it was like, get down, kid, or whatever, That's the energy. It was like, hey, get down from the ladder, kid. Come on, you can't be up there. That's the energy that this guy had. It was just like, hey, you can't be on the ladder. It's like, what do you mean? Explain your fucking self right now. Or talk to my boss. I don't
honestly, I wasn't there. I wasn't in the room. I think at some point, if this guy's just repeating himself, I think I would have just kept saying that. At some point, I would have just kept repeating the numbers to his cell phone. Like, this is If you give a shit, this is who you got to talk
to.
The other
thing too, if he's gonna say you can't be on the ladder, don't shake your head at me over and over and over again, then I should have been like, well, here's CEO of Sanchi's number.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to be a rational human being. I was trying to like D&D like conversation tree this thing out. It's like, oh, that one didn't work. Let me try saying this. Oh, he said the same fucking thing. This game's programmed by Bethesda, isn't it?
Another issue that I have with this interaction, it should have corrected itself. He comes over, says, get off the ladder. You say, no. He says, is that the last light you have to do? You say, yeah. He says, okay, you can do that light. You say, okay. He says, what about breakdown? You say, we don't need it for breakdown. And then it somehow goes from that to, if I see you on that ladder again, we're going to have an issue.
Right.
That part I don't understand. It sounds like the issue corrected itself.
Right. That brought it from, well, I don't know. I think me bringing up something happened when I brought up the fact that does he want to talk to my boss? Because he clearly didn't want to. He didn't say no, I don't want to do that, but he didn't engage with that either. And that's when he started to threaten me. That's a literal threat.
Yeah, I don't know what he means by that.
What did he mean? He's gonna hold my hand, he's gonna pull me by the ear to the people and make me pay for a thing. Or the other, my when he said that, I was like, is he gonna beat the shit out of me? Literally, that's
well,
what
there's
I thought.
cops there.
I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Is he gonna sue Sanchi?
No,
if I get on the ladder again. He's gonna lose.
I know. It's it's wild. He didn't really have a leg to stand on, except that there's apparently union guys present. But what? Okay, so there's laborers there who are supposedly per diem expected $2,000 to help set up the booth.
Right.
Where did it say that in the contract with this convention hall in Sanchi? Where did it say your guys can only set up until blank at which point you need to hire somebody to continue?
Right. And if it did, then my company should have known that. And now we're talking about what Sanchi did wrong in this situation. But I really just want to focus on how this guy was a complete dickhead, and the fact that he just. It seems like he doesn't care about safety issues. He was just saying that because he felt like he had to. He just wants to get his union people paid, and also he wanted to display his power, even though the biggest display of power would be saying your title and full name like a normal human. But he didn't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, just some fucking guy wandered up and started yelling at me.
Maybe there is no union. Well, actually, then a second guy approached you, which makes him a bit more valid.
His words, not mine, Nazi, who comes around.
Right. Wow. Except for maybe Sanchi misread something in the contract, and there's union laborers who supposedly got fucked out of a 10-minute job that you did. He has no leg to stand on. It's your ladder. Right. Sanchi's liable if you fall.
Right. No, if we're gonna
and then he threatened you.
If we're gonna talk asshole dude versus Anthony from Thunder Lane and Gaming, I didn't do fucking anything wrong.
No,
literally nothing.
I think you should leave me.
Which one?
He's
I didn't do shit. I didn't fucking shit. Yeah. Does this mean if you bring a really tall person, you could avoid ladder charge, or a stilt walker? I don't know, man. A really tall person would fix it. Stilt walker.
Yeah. What if you can reach the top of this thing without ladder? Is he just sitting there oh, fucking?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's happening. Because I didn't stand on his chair, and I didn't stand on. Once again, I will repeat myself. My ladder.
He would have gone ape shit if he saw you on the chair.
I just, um,
Wow.
yeah, it was, and that happened right at the beginning of the convention, and I didn't have that great of a time. Let's talk about Agent Cody Banks, shall
Oh,
we?
sure.
Because when I was in the hotel waiting for my other hotel roommates to be there, I watched.
I'm sorry. I had one last thing. Did
Sure.
anybody you work with talk to you about that incident after? Were they like, man, that was shitty?
Yeah. So there was like the initial like, there was what the initially the reaction from the room was kind of like, is he right? Let's do some research. And then Sean found that one part in the thing that was like, people aren't allowed to hang shit or whatever it said. And then from there, well, sorry, what was your question?
Did anybody talk to you about the way that man interacted with you?
Oh, in like hey, sorry that happened. Type.
That or let's talk to the boss, let's get his name, let's get him fired, something to that degree. There's levels that I'm looking for, but even just one level would be
no,
nice.
because it was just me and a bunch of like coworkers that I'm equal to, you know. So there was no like.
But did they at least be like, "Hey, that was shitty"?
Yeah. No, there was a general like fuck that guy energy throughout the whole week. But it was also during setup. You got to think like we're like a fourth of the way through setup, and like that really sucked and obviously impeded our progress. And it's just like it's one of those things where it's just like we could complain, we could find someone to complain to, but that would take time away from setting up this booth. It was one of those situations as well. I will say this. After that happened, after the lights were almost all the way set up, we just left. We were just like, well, that's it for day one, I guess. And then we went home. We went out to eat or whatever. I watched both Agent Cody Banks movies. Have you seen these flicks? No, not at all. Okay, so Agent Cody Banks 1, I'm not going to talk about them too long. I just want to briefly mention. I have seen both of them. I remember the first one a lot more. Agent Cody Banks is basically like capitalizing on the Spy Kids genre of like, what if it's James Bond, but it's a kid?
Right.
It's Frankie Muniz.
Yeah,
his
I knew that.
Female opposite is Hilary Duff, the actress who plays Lizzie McGuire. In her first role ever, except it's not her first role ever. I looked up. It's just like the fourth thing she's been in. Movie wise. The movie was very like I don't know. It was just like inappropriate humor. Like his handler is the actress who plays Rizzoli on Rizzoli and Isles, and every time she showed up, the music was basically like, look at this hottie, you know? And like the scene from the trailer where he like
I'm sorry. The reason I'm laughing is just it's a kid's movie.
Yeah. No, there was a scene where Agent Cody Banks put on X-ray glasses and looks at her chest.
Oh no.
And all that stuff. We don't see what he sees because the movie's still PG after all. But yeah, it was just a lot of like I don't know. Liz McGuire, Hilary Duff said a not chill word to say.
Can
regarding
we get a hint or?
Yeah, regarding a certain type of education that certain individuals need.
Oh.
So that wasn't great. There's a controversy tab on the Wikipedia article for that shit. But I'll be fucked. The second movie was way better. The second movie was an actually, dare I say, good movie.
Okay.
Because his handler is not Rizzoli from Rizzoli and Isles. It's Anthony Anderson. Overweight black comedian. I'm sure you've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
He was in Transformers 1. He's been in a lot. He was great. He was awesome. He was a comic relief, but like not when you. It was just a better movie. The female lead was not Hilary Duff. It was like someone else. And like spoiler alert, she's like also in on it. Like she's also a kid in a adult position. It takes place in London. It's called Agent Cody Banks 2 Operation London. The chief of police was the guy who plays Arthur Weasley in Harry Potter, the dad.
Oh, cool.
So that was cool to see him just randomly pop up.
Yeah.
And I was talking with Mason about this. There's a scene in this movie where they're playing. He is part of a elite music school. And the whole thing is like, I don't play clarinet. It's like, it's okay. You're a spy. We got a clarinet that plays for you. So this ensemble has a bunch of different people from all around the world. There's an Indian girl, there's an African gentleman, you know, all this stuff. But they're all kids. One of the guys is a super thick Scottish accent kid who plays upright bass. And there's a scene later in the movie where they're playing the thing they're supposed to play, and then they're supposed to continue playing as part, because they're in on it now, and it's like, oh, we can't stop playing, the bomb's gonna go off if we stop playing or whatever, so we have to keep playing. And they look over at bass guy and they're like, do your thing. So this guy, white dude, he puts on a headband and then he starts singing War. You know that song?
Yeah.
He starts singing that song, and if you watch the clip, if you just Google Agent Cody Banks 2 War, the actor who is singing War in a very thick Scottish accent is the actor who played Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that until that moment. I was like, wait a fucking minute. Enhance. So yeah, that was great. I might do a video essay about Agent Cody Banks.
Okay. Oh wait, aren't we in the midst of? Oh yeah, we are. Of a
yeah,
video
we got
essay.
a really nice idea that I wanna go
that
through with.
That might continue on.
Yeah. We had an idea for a video, and it, I think, turned into 5 videos almost immediately. At least 5. And if they pop off, maybe more.
Let's do that. Let's now that I'm off school, now
and
is
I'm
the
off
time.
cons until September.
Yeah, let's we could bang all the first 5 ones out if we wanted.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Let's see the 5th one, and then as soon as we have that under our belt, let's start brainstorming the project
Concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so review of my week. Anime Expo bad. People who run Anime Expo worst. Agent Cody Banks 2 good. Jollibee best.
I love it. I love it. It's a great week.
Yeah.
Great week review, I should say.
Yeah.
Like rating.
When I was on the plane, I was watching a YouTube video on my phone because I have YouTube Premium and you can like download videos to watch offline later. And the person next to me was watching a movie, and I got so enamored by their movie that I shut my YouTube video off and was just watching the movie they were watching. I couldn't hear it, but it had subtitles on. It's called The Good Liar. Have you seen this flick?
No.
It stars Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. It's from 2019. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It was really good. It was like, for being a movie about 2 old people, it like did not lose its like narrative momentum. It was like, and then the ending was like, what? It was very good.
So you watched this whole movie?
The whole thing,
with
man.
this person over
thing.
This person's shoulder? Did they
Yes.
know at all?
Not over their shoulder. They were sitting right next to me.
Did they notice?
I don't know if they noticed. If they did not acknowledge my presence at all. So, yeah, it's called The Good Liar. It's from 2019. Watch it. It was very good. It's not streaming. You'd have to rent it, I think. But I'd say it's worth it because it was captivating. Love Ian McKellen. I don't think he's ever played opposite Helen Mirren, I don't think. And they worked really well together. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcasts, video essays, let's plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.